Listen up, get ready, I'm not gonna take no more. There's a revolution, a revelation going on in my soul. Buckle up, get ready, we're not gonna sit down.
Okay, citizens of the world, welcome back to Live from the Heartland for the week of March 6th. And our next guest is someone who has brought more musical talent to this city than anyone probably since the old days when the Triad Productions and other musical events were bringing in some talent. The one and only Marguerite Horberg, founder of the HotHouse, someone who goes to Cuba for the Jazz Festival and takes people along with her. Good day to you.
Hey, Mike, it's good to be back. Thank you.
Good to be back. So last time you went to Cuba, you had a little bit of trouble coming through, as I recall, back to the States. What's the status of travel to Cuba, and what plans do you have to go to Cuba and take some people along with you?
Well, the last time I came back was just about 3 weeks ago, and that was completely smooth sailing. So I think it's a very unpredictable re-entry process, which I think is always designed to throw people off and, make it a little bit undesirable to travel. But having said that, everybody's traveling with the convoy, which is landing in Havana on March 21st. And this is an initiative that's spearheaded by Progressive International. And I've been on these calls on Sundays with really hundreds of people from all over the world, from Berlin, from Chile, from Mexico, from Ecuador, from Italy. Many people are chartering planes, chartering freighters, boats, flotilla, and it's really designed to kind of defy and interrupt the blockade and also this kind of newly, pernicious assault on Cuba. So we're taking a group from Chicago, and on March 15th, Sunday, March 15th, we're having kind of a send-off celebration fundraiser in my building. And if you go to my Facebook page, either HotHouse or Marguerite Horberg, you'll see the invite. And the money raised helps low-income people who want to go on the convoy to help with their travel expenses. And then most of that other money is going to either Global Health Partners or the People's Forum, who are taking shipping containers of medical supplies and solar panels.
At a time when the U.S. has been blocking oil from Venezuela and even from Mexico going to Cuba and creating quite a crisis, what can you tell us about that crisis, and what can you tell us about how do you expect any blockade, so to speak, by the U.S. government of any of this convoy to Cuba?
Well, the situation has been bad for a very long time for the Cuban people. They've been miraculously, putting their lives together under very, very difficult circumstances, probably since 1992, when the Soviet Union was no longer able to do the same kind of trading that they had been. So, it's been a really, really dire situation. It's been made much worse in the last, let's say, 6 or 7 months, acutely, like in the last couple months. Well, so when we were in Havana in January, there's 18-hour hours of blackouts, even in the capital of Havana. That's much worse as you go out to the countryside, where much less goods and transport is unable to have the fuel to really carry much, essential things into the countryside. So surgeries are canceled. Hospital situation is dire. People are cutting school hours. There's long lines for food. There's no petrol to get from one place to another. And, it's just asking people to, sustain in these extremely miserable conditions for absolutely no reason. There's no reason that people should be living like this. And it's just, purely for punitive and sadistic reasons, kind of at the behest of people like Marco Rubio and his, South Miami crazy people.
For any of you younger listeners who may not know, a lot of us older people are real aware that the U.S. has blockaded Cuba, trade with Cuba by other countries to Cuba for a long, long time. And Mexico has been a good friend of Cuba all along, but they're under a lot of pressure too. Do you have any insight? I don't want to belabor this point about oil getting to Cuba. Are there any tankers getting through? Anything going on? Or are we just living on reserves?
Well, I think it's like a day-to-day kind of reporting, because I think that Canada, Russia, China, Mexico, and other countries are committed to providing fuel and providing emergency relief. But I think that the specifics of that change depending on, what kind of threats they're receiving. So I think it's really not known exactly what fuel is getting through. But also people should know today, well, this is going to be broadcast on Saturday, but...
No, Friday.
Oh, Friday. So anyway, today, Wednesday, there's a big press conference down at the Federal Plaza where people are calling for lifting the sanctions.
One of the things about Cuba that impressed me, I was there, I've been there, I think 2 times, and I noticed that everybody was really lean, but everybody was busy, occupied, and working. And I imagine it's still like that. You go there regularly for the jazz festival, you bring other people, you've brought a lot of musicians to the States. What's your sense of where people are at and how they're enduring with this situation?
Well, it's terrible. I mean, I think there's sort of a 2-tier economy that's, burgeoning in Havana, where people who have small businesses and relatives outside the country are making a lot of money. And you can find very fancy restaurants with $50 a plate meals and uniform waiters and kind of a dollar economy. And then, you can go to another neighborhood, which are mostly Black and poor, who don't have white relatives or don't have small businesses. And those conditions, I think, are really deplorable. There's, people without electricity, as I said. People who are wealthy can buy generators. So, there's kind of a dual reality. And the U.S. is desperately trying to exploit the misery and, going around the country promising all sorts of things to people who want to capitulate and, create havoc. So, there's many things to watch right now. It's a very tenuous situation. And I think, part of the point of the convoy and global attention travel to Cuba, one is because, people want people to go to Cuba. So there's a lot of propaganda telling people don't go, it's not safe, it's uncertain. But the Cubans really want people to go. They depend on tourism. It is a safe place to go. The people are very friendly and welcoming. And so I would really encourage as many people to go if they can. If not, send support, send help.
What's the status of travel to Cuba? I mean, is it the 2 times I went to Cuba, I went through Canada one time and through the Bahamas another time, although I did tell, when I came back through, they say, you go anywhere else? I said, yeah, I went to Havana. And they took me out of line, and it was all friendly. They took the beads out of my maracas, and I said to the border person, I said, do you get a lot of Americans going to Cuba? She said, yeah, all the time, old guys, fishermen. And I'm just wondering.
Everyone could. I mean,
can you still take a plane to Cuba from the States?
Yeah. You can fly Southwest from Midway. You can fly American or Delta. from O'Hare. A lot of this kind of chronic misinformation is a way that deters. It's kind of a soft way to make it difficult for people. But no, it's very straightforward. There's 12 legal categories from the Office of Financial Asset Control, which is the U.S. And, you just pick one of those 12 categories that you comport with the law, and then you travel. So that's what we do. And we try to take as many people as we can.
Well, we were going to talk about HotHouse too. Why don't you just give us a little brief report on the HotHouse, and if you're having an event, celebrating your 40th anniversary, I would like to come to it.
Hey, thank you, Michael. That's great. Yes, so this is our 40th anniversary, and I'm so glad you're asking about it because I just feel like it's a big deal, and I feel like it should be much more celebrated in Chicago. For a lot of reasons, because it was, the physical space was a groundbreaking, just like the Heartland Cafe. These are places that people hold in their heart years after they're gone. The physical places are gone. And, it really created a lot of joy in people's lives. It really brought global music and culture and solidarity work and fundraising work and awareness of the ANC and indigenous people's campaigns and the Black Panthers. And, it was really a place, like you remember, Crossroads. These are kind of iconic places that happen in Chicago that make an imprint. And I really do think they should be celebrated. So it's our 40th anniversary. We're going to have a party on August 8th. And there'll probably be a lot of music and fun. And, it's something that I think the city does not recognize enough, I think, or support these small businesses and these institutions that, it's very, very difficult, as you know, to navigate the tax things and the license things and the inspectors and the...
Oh, yeah.
All this stuff. And I just feel the city could do so much more to embrace us, to celebrate us, to make it possible to make these kind of spaces that are very important to people.
Well, Marguerite, we're going to have you back on the show when you come back from Cuba, from the convoy. We hope thousands of people from around the world show up in boats and planes and life rafts, however they get there. And we'll have you back on not only to talk about that, but give us more on the HotHouse as your 40th anniversary event gets closer. I want to thank